Steve and I were pastoring here in Springfield and began to feel God nudge us towards a different kind of mission field. And as we look back on it, I always thought the mission field was somewhere far away. What we didn't realize was that the mission field was right in our backyard here around the universities. And Steve, I'll let you tell that story of how that really happened.
Yeah. I think, the whole background really comes around to, I literally was on Chestnut Expressway coming into Springfield off of I-44. I just felt an inclination very strongly that I should go to the right and take College Street, which would take me downtown. I knew it would take longer, and I don't know where that came from, but I followed that inclination. And it brought me out downtown. And when I came downtown, I noticed that the streets were covered with college students. They were walking outside the bars and the clubs. They were having community. And yet I kind of thought maybe they don't all really want to be here, but there was nothing else for them to do. So I came through the downtown area, ended up coming out onto National Avenue. And when I got to National, I turned right and went south on National, which would have taken me closer to my house. And when I went down National Avenue, I went by 3 different college ministries that were all closed at 9 o'clock. And it just hit me at that moment like, man, if I was involved with college students, I sure would want to be there and available to them when they were trying to find activities. So I kind of blew it off a little bit, but I literally went home, and between here, National Avenue, and my house, I just felt like the Lord asked me to grab Berna and to take her. So I got home, asked her to jump in the car with me, and I took her back around that same route again and went through downtown, and then I brought her back out to National Avenue. I said, there's nothing for college students to do, and ministries that should be reaching college students this time of night are closed. Maybe our mission field isn't away somewhere. Maybe our mission field is right here. There are 25,000 college students right across the street. We had a heart for that college-age student with our own kids going through that. We went through that, so we literally went back through the same route again and both kind of looked at each other and said, maybe this is our mission field where God's calling us to. I don't have to leave the country. I don't have to learn a new language. I want to have to kind of integrate into a new culture, but I don't have to start all over again. And if it's going to be international students, there's plenty of them here. There's thousands of international students on this campus, and maybe we can reach them and they could reach their own homes when they go home. So that's kind of where it started for us. It was just an awareness that there was a mission field in our backyard, and I didn't have to leave the country to do that. We could do it right here.
Real soon we realized that we couldn't handle this by ourselves. The 2 of us were trying to do many things, and we won't go into that story, but God truly let us cross paths again with an old friend, Samson, and him coming on board several months afterwards has been a key in helping us to connect to these students, because whether it's in the kitchen or whether it's just throughout the house and you get to know someone who's sitting there studying, you introduce yourself. Really, the key has been just forming relationships, and
nobody does it better than Samson.
And yes, and then our volunteers, we started that program where students could come in and take a few hours and give throughout the week. And not only were they giving, but they were also then enjoying the atmosphere that we felt we wanted to create. And that is just a safe place, a place where, I think everybody wants to come to the table, but sometimes it seems a little scary. And if we can create an environment that feels inviting and open and receptive, like a coffee house, it's been a great key.
Yeah, and so when you look at how Potter's House started, we're known as a coffee house around campus and around town, but really our identity is in our ministry, and the coffee was just a tool I think we thought would be a way to reach, and that's where we met Samson, was in another coffee shop in town, and I met him before that, but just where we really connected was at a coffee shop on one day, and
one of the 3 that was here when Potter's House started.
So over the years, I think just the whole thing of most people really desire relationship.
One-on-one mentoring, discipling. Over the years, that has probably been the highlight for me, is just getting to know the students in a much more deep way. But it started with friendship and then grew into a trust and an ability to pour into their lives. And so every semester we have a whole list of groups and opportunities for them. Some only come in and get coffee. Others get highly involved, whether it's in serving or being a part of a small group with us.
And this is the time of life when they're making life decisions, and providing opportunity for them to have positive input into relationships and their spiritual growth and all those things. I think that's really crucial that we offer that to them, and even of late, just to have guys like Jake and CJ and Danny, Austin coming in and Brandon coming in for an early morning Bible study, after living in a fraternity house all night. I think it just again speaks to that community.
8 o'clock in the morning.
8 o'clock in the morning.
I think they come for donuts.
Yeah, what fraternity guy gets up that early in the morning to show up for Bible studies? So this is the community I think we've tried to create, and offering to them an opportunity to have something that pours into their life in a positive way.
I met Steve and Berna, I believe it was, and I hate to think about it because it really dates me, about 29 years ago. And I was an employee at that time for Greene County. I was a juvenile officer, and my boss attended their church, and I was invited to Family and Friends Day, and I sang for Steve and Berna's Family and Friends Day, and that was when I met them. The crazy thing was, 12 years later, the Lord put them in a situation where they were thinking about me. And I don't know how that came about, but God's big. So anyway, so they came and sought me out to help them be a part of this ministry called Potter's House. And the way Steve described it, it was definitely something that I wanted to be a part of. At that time, man, I was at a low spot. It was a really rough time, and they loved me right where I was. All 270, 280 pounds of me at that time. So I started here in a position of just working the kitchen, figuring things out. They were very patient with me. I was on antipsychotic, antidepressants at that time. Not going to go into that, yes. Very much in a precarious situation. And they loved me in spite of all that. And so in that environment, I began to work in the kitchen, learn how to make drinks. It was a great atmosphere to be a part of. It was like being the host of a party every day. And Jesus is the life of the party. And so it was just really a great opportunity. A bar with a different drink. Students are coming in. They can have a seat, study whatever they need to study. They can wander about 3 stories. They can come get a drink. It was just a great opportunity. In fact, even some of the drink ideas came from students. Over that time, even the first year, I lost 100 pounds. I stopped taking all the antipsychotics and all the antidepressants all at the same time, cold turkey. I did streak a few times after that, but anyway, but I was totally in a position of where I was able to begin to live my life and see a reason to live. The healing of Jesus came from me behind a counter selling coffee drinks. The most powerful, spiritually profitable ministry I've ever seen done has been in this building, Potter's House, just because it's been doing ministry the way Jesus did it.
So I guess looking at what Potter's House is and Samsons Connection, and the way that the Potter's House is developed here, right across Missouri State, and, who would have known when we started we'd be seeing 1,000 or 1,200 students a week in our doors? we thought if we'd see 30, we'd be lucky. But God has really orchestrated this in a way that none of us could have planned it out that way. And that just kind of ties back into the whole full circle thing, that just that inclination to take that diversion to the right as opposed to the left, way out there on Chestnut Expressway, took me down College Street. I had no way to know at that time that coming down College Street, I would drive right in front of what is now the Well Church, and it's become our home. And who could have planned that? Who could have made that work other than God? So, to know that the Potter's House, while we feel blessed, I don't feel like we're good at it. We're not special. God just used people who were willing at the time, but the numbers of students we see here, to know that there are still a lot of those downtown, and to be able to partner with the Well, and our relationship with Dylan and Selena all these years have really brought it full circle now to where not only are we going to stay right here in front of Missouri State and do what we do here, but to have an opportunity to have that same relationship downtown with college students who know the name and know that we're who we are, to connect that downtown, I think is going to be a tremendous opportunity for ministry.
How God connects the dots, it's amazing, in order to multiply.
Right.
And so we are so grateful for what's happening here, and we just feel it an honor to be a part.
Yeah, I think, just the whole connection is going to be great for not only the ministry, but for this relationship that God's going to use in great ways. We're excited.